Easy guys, so quick update on Sui. Really nice breakout. We waited patiently for this for so long and we had this beautiful breakout to the upside. Really explosive move filled with lots of volume. So the volume is still around 1 billion trading volume. I think it was around 2 or 3 billion. It was crazy. The volume is still up 7%. Over the last 24 hours. So that's what you want to see. You don't want to see the volume dropping. Now, I personally set a trailing stop loss. If you follow my X, you've probably seen what I've been up to. If you don't, go and follow it over here. Here's the link. So yeah, I was in a trade. I think I finished on around $30,000. So absolutely crazy. I posted this around $3.16. And what I do is, no one can time when these things are going to reverse, right? No one can time when they're going to come back down. So obviously we got into a trade nice and early, made huge gains in a short amount of time. What happens when you move up extremely fast? Usually you're going to get some sort of a cool down or reversal. You know, are you going to go down like this? Nobody knows, guys. Usually you're going to move up. Sometimes you'll come back to the SMC moving average like this, and then you'll get another push to the upside. So for me, I don't want to overtrade. I know a lot of people are like, what's the next trade? What's the next trade? I don't really want to overtrade, right? I've patiently waited for this move down. We started shorting when the SMC bot gave us a sell signal. We bought when we had this buy signal down here about 0.85. And the trend is your friend, right? We were in an uptrend, and usually you're going to come back to the SMC moving average, right? And this is where I would be looking for another long position, and then we push to the upside, and I wait to come back to the moving average again, and we come back to the moving average, right? It's not rocket science. The trend is your friend, and for me, it's a position of strength or skip. The same with the downside, right? When you get the sell, I actually took profits on this downside because I would have set a trailing stop loss, just as I'm about to tell you guys right now what I've done on this current trade. But the trend is your friend until the end. And every time we come back to this SMC, we actually got rejected, right? When you're on the down trend, it acts as resistance. So we tried to get close. We couldn't quite get there, but wouldn't have been a bad short if you jumped in early. We came back here, rejected again, lovely short position, and then we eventually got the buy signal from the SMC bot, and it was a no-brainer, right? After being in a downtrend for so long, you're looking for a buy signal, you're looking for a flip for the pump back to the upside, and the same when you're in an uptrend, right? A lot of retail were just holding. Sui's going to $10, Sui's going to $50, and then the sell signal just helps you snap out of that euphoria, so you're not left holding the bag all the way down, right? Because we made money on the way up, we shorted on the way down, we sold our Sui holdings, and the amount of money that I would have lost by ignoring this bot and just holding, it came all the way back down to the same prices it was in October, right? So those who bought down here actually missed out on all of the gains that they could have potentially made. And yes, eventually if Sui does make it in time, they're not going to be at a loss, but I like to capitalize on these moves, especially when we've got tools that just help us guide us through these trades. Anyway, so I set a trailing stop loss. For those that are new, what's a trailing stop loss? So basically up here, I think I was in like 300-400% profit. It's a lot of money, guys. This was 3-day move to the upside. And if an asset moves up 300, 400, 500% in a couple of days, usually, guys, it's going to come to the downside. Things don't just go up in a straight line. And what I do is, let's say I'm in 300% profit here, I'll move my stop loss to here. Why? Because it's just below the previous wicks and below the candle close. So I'll set it at a fairly sensible level that price should not come back to whilst it's in the uptrend. And then once it breaks through, I keep moving the stop loss up, and then when the price does actually come down, it stops out my trade in the profit at that level, right? So instead of me just holding and hoping and wondering if it's not going to go back into a downtrend, I'm preserving that capital, and it gives me exposure to the upside. A lot of people say, oh, what's your take profit target on Sui? What's your take profit target on this? I don't really use take profit targets, guys, because imagine I had taken this trade after waiting all this time, and I had a profit target of this around 280. The price went all the way up to 380, right? So I would have missed out on $10,000-$15,000 just because I had a TP target. So I actually like to set trailing stop losses. Right, price is moving up. All right, okay, I'll move my trailing stop loss up. Okay, price is moving up. I'll move my trailing stop loss up. And that gives me exposure to the upside because nobody knows how high it can go, right? The next target I had up for Sui was at 430 up here. And that just keeps me in the game, gives me exposure to any upside. Am I taking another trade on SUI? Not in the middle of nowhere. We are holding on the 200-day moving average, which is a very, very nice level of support. But look how we wicked below, right? So if I had have taken a trade here on the 200-day moving average and we came down to 317, 316, I might have hit my stop loss, right? I might have lost, I don't know, 10%, 15%, 20%, depending on how much leverage I'm using. For me personally, it's all about the SMC moving average. You see this green line? If we come back to this line, then yes, I would definitely take a long position on SUI. And the reason for that is I can set my stop loss just below, right? So I know we're at a level where we usually bounce. Okay, we've been through this whole thing before with the last buy signal back here. We waited for SUI to come back to the level here, and then look, it bounced off, retested, lovely push to the upside after the retest. And for me, I want to be in a position of strength, or I'll skip. I could sit out and not trade SUI for 3 months. That's absolutely fine. I could sit here and wait for another trade like this for 6 months. Maybe we go into another parabolic run to the upside, and we get another sell signal from the SMC bot. Well, that's a trade that I know that I can make 10, 20, who knows, $50,000 just by being patient, just waiting for a position of strength. I don't want to sort of trade these, oh, we're going up, we're going down, because look at the daily candles, right? It's been going sideways day after day after day, but those traders who were long and shorting, it pushed to the upside, it pushed to the downside. You know, a lot of stop losses and liquidations we're getting here, straight to the downside, straight to the upside. I just prefer to wait for a position of strength, and exchanges love these ranges because everyone's constantly looking for shorts and longs, and you know, they're just liquidating everyone and hitting everyone's stops. So yeah, position of strength for me, or skip. What happens if it continues to move to the upside here? Absolutely could, guys. You could almost say we're forming some sort of a bull flag here. Absolutely could go to the upside. That's absolutely fine. I'll just wait for a position of strength, wait for it to come down, or skip. I especially don't want to be trading too much in May. Historically, May to October is very, very bearish in crypto. Most of the market tends to come down. Bitcoin might carry us. There's still a lot of hype and stuff going around for Bitcoin right now. That's something that we haven't really seen much lately. We haven't seen the correlation between BTC moving up and alts going up, but we did recently see on that BTC push to the upside, altcoins starting to break out again. So have we finished this downtrend? Time will tell, guys. We're still in a downtrend until proven otherwise, but on the larger time frames, right, because this is our high up here. So this potentially is a relief rally, or we are actually going to make some pushes to the upside and try and reclaim some of these highs. For now, one of the alarming things is I didn't see the green bottoms indicator. So you see here on the SMC bot legend, it says uptrend bright green color. We didn't get those bright greens down here, which usually pops up when you are coming to some sort of a bottom. If you look over here, when we took the long position, you can see here bright green, and you know, we had all these bright greens starting to flash up, and then the market started to reverse. And the yellows usually indicate a pullback as well, right? So you see how we went into these yellows. We started to get a pullback, yellow, pullback, yellow. This yellow was actually almost a top signal for the downtrend. We didn't get any yellows all the way down, and we didn't get those bright greens as well. So a little bit alarming. But we did have a yellow here on the daily, just closed 3 days ago, right? Which was followed by downside. So these yellow candle signals can be really, really useful. If you're in a trade and you think you're going higher, it can say, hey, maybe we might see some downside here. Something's not looking too good. And it just helps us snap out of that bullish up only mentality, and obviously look for short positions. Do I think this is going to absolutely nuke to the ground? I'd be very surprised, guys, especially with $1 billion in trading volume and a lot of hype around SUI. I'd be very surprised. Look, if the crypto macro comes down, and let's say the market opens next week and the S&P comes down, the NASDAQ comes down, we know crypto is heavily linked to the NASDAQ, and if the NASDAQ crashes, yes, probably you're going to see altcoins and Bitcoin start to crash. So we want to see a positive market open tomorrow. So yeah, pay close attention to the markets, because we're not just trading altcoins here. We're trading the macro, right? We're trading the S&P, and the S&P is actually approaching the 200-day moving average. So we have a lot of resistance here around the 200-day. A lot of people are bearish, and you know, I am bearish in the longer time frames. But yeah, we broke above the resistance resistance on the S&P. So, you know, who am I to argue? You know, we clearly broke out of this broadening wedge. You know, we sold a lot of the crypto up here. We bought some more crypto back down here. It's a very dangerous territory right now, right? Because we've pushed up quite a lot. So could go either way. Interesting to see if we close above the 200-day. If we close above the 200-day and we get above this resistance, then we should be looking at higher price targets. And that will be especially this blue line here where we broke the trend line. A lot of the time, what happens if you do get this bullish momentum, you will come up and retest the trend line, basically come back to the scene of the crime, okay? I know I'm going off track on SUI, guys, but I'm just trying to get across to you how important it is to look at the TradFi as well as crypto as well. What else can we see here? The RSI is overbought, okay? So we could actually do with rolling over on the S&P. The buy pressure is massively slowing down on the S&P. Volume is still okay. Volume is still good. But yeah, the buy pressure is dropping down. The RSI is coming down. I would be very surprised if we just keep on V-shaping recovering like this. I would be very surprised. Is it possible? Yes. You know, always have a strategy for either outcomes. But personally, I'm looking for a bit of a push and then some sort of a pullback or correction, at least back to some sort of support levels, right? If we're going to move higher, at least come back down to some support levels. Or are we actually going to come back down and then look to retest the lows? Okay, so that's something that we also need to take into consideration. Let's quickly check SUI, actually. Let's have a look at the RSI on SUI because, SUI, because we can actually see what's going on. RSI on SUI also looks like it wants to come down a bit as well. So, yeah, I wouldn't be crazy about trading this right now. You know, no one went broke taking profits. I've took some profits off the table. I'm just going to chill and wait for a better trade. The buy pressure isn't amazing. We did see some buy pressure on this dip, but it's nowhere near the levels that we were seeing recently, right? So volume, not terrible, right? The volume was really dropped off here before the pump. So the volume's not terrible, but the last couple of days have been much lower. It's interesting, the volume's dropping, but we're seeing a little bit more buy pressure. So maybe whales and insiders are actually buying it up or expecting a move here. That's it for now, guys. If you want to see my trades, you want to jump in and get involved with us, the guys have been absolutely printing. Here's a couple of trades that I took profits on recently. We've been trading virtuals, Pengu. Look, they're not all going to win, guys, and you know we do hit stop losses here and there. But some of the guys have been absolutely printing in the Discord. So if you want to see all my buy and sell alerts, if you want to see all my trades, you want to see my portfolio, you want to see the market updates as well, because I do massive macro updates, what's going on in TradFi, what's going on with tariffs. Jump involved with us. We also track a lot of the smart money inside the Discord. So on this section down here, you see on-chain alpha. KOLs I'm adding soon. So KOLs, I am going to start adding all of their wallets in here, and we're going to get notified on all of the KOL transactions, which should be interesting. Smart money signals. So here you can see what all the smart money are up to in real time. So as soon as they buy and sell assets, we get notified in real time. And it even gives you the recent average. So, for example, smart money sent Pepe, which is 6.12 times the recent average. Sent means sent to an exchange. Why do you send assets to an exchange? It's usually to sell, guys. You know, you're not sending Pepe to an exchange from your decentralized wallet to stake it. I would imagine you aren't doing that. But really, really powerful data. We got retail money signals, top balance changes. I really, really love. Because you can see when the top holders of tokens are starting to get out or in, right? So Aurora Farm, top 25 holders balances dropped by 29.9 million today. So why did their balances drop? Why are the top 25 holders selling Aura Farm? I'll then go into Aura Farm, check what the smart money are doing, check what the whales are doing, and see if we can see any potential trade setups. Right, so on-chain data is extremely powerful, and yeah, it's a really, really cool tool. If you want to jump in and get involved with us, head over to my X. You can see the link here to get involved. Here's my X account. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, so you don't miss out on any of these videos. And until then, I will catch you in the next one.